Hello everyone, welcome back. This is United Top News again. A very good morning to you all, wherever you are watching us from. We are on Tuesday, 10th February, and it's time for the updates that have truly shaken Manchester town. This is one of the most moments where everyone feels connected, the manager, the players, the past mistakes, and the sudden hope that refuses to be ignored. No noise, no fluff, just the real story unfolding Manchester United right now. Manchester United's recent revival under Michael Carrick has not gone unnoticed, and the one name sits right at the center of it all: Kobbie Mainoo. A player once left in the shadow has suddenly become the heartbeat of the team, and according to Ian Wright, that alone should cause serious embarrassment for the Ruben Amorim. Under Amorim, Mainoo was largely overlooked. He was rotated, sidelined, and at times seemed like an afterthought in midfield. Fans were confused, pundits questioned the logic, and now, with Carrick in charge, those questions are louder than ever. Ian Wright did not hold back when speaking after United's last win, saying that everyone was confused by what was happening under Amorim, especially when the solution was right there all along. Since Carrick took over as an interim head coach, Manchester United have transformed. The 2-0 victory over Tottenham Hotspurs was not just another win. It was their fourth consecutive victory, following statement wins over Manchester City, Arsenal, Fulham, and now Spurs. These results have pushed United into fourth places in the Premier League, a position that felt impossible just a week ago, and Kobbie Mainoo has been central to it all. The young midfielder has played the full 90 minutes in almost every game under Carrick. He dictates tempo, he wins duels, he plays with confidence, maturity, and intelligence beyond his years. This is not a coincidence. This is what happens when a player is trusted. Carrick, a former midfield general himself, clearly sees something that was ignored before, and the results speak themselves louder. For many fans, Mainoo's rise feels bittersweet. Joy at his performances, yes, but also frustration. Why did it take a managerial change for this to happen? Why was such a talent allowed to sit idle while United struggled? These are the questions Ruben Amorim may find hard to escape. But while United fans celebrate progress at the OT, another story involving familiar faces caused the hearts to skip a bit in Spain. Marcus Rashford handed Barcelona a serious scare during their 3-0 win over Mallorca at the Nou Camp. The night was meant to be routine for the Catalan Giants as they extended their lead at the top of La Liga to 4 points. Robert Lewandowski opened the scoring before Lamine Yamal, and teenage sensation Marco Bernard added gloss to the scoreline. Yet the moment that froze the stadium came just before halftime. Rashford went down holding his knee. The reaction said everything. Barcelona players looked worried. Head coach Hansi Flick looked anxious. For a few seconds, the game felt secondary. Rashford received the medical treatment on the pitch, and the concern spread quickly through the stand. Given his injury history, the fear was real. Thankfully, Rashford managed to continue after the break, showing resilience and determination. However, the risk was clear, and he was eventually replaced by Ferran Torres after 67 minutes. While initial signs suggest no serious damage, the incident was a reminder of how fragile momentum can be for both player and the club. For Manchester United's fans watching from afar, it was a strange mix of emotions, relief that Rashford walked off, concern about what could have been, and reflection on how intertwined United's present and future still are, with the players wearing different shirts. What connects all these stories is timing. United are at a crossroads. Kobbie Mainoo is providing that trust changes everything. Michael Carrick is showing that clarity and simplicity can revive belief. Ian Wright's words echo what fans have felt for months. That confusion held this team back, not a lack of quality. At the same time, Rashford's scare in Barcelona is a reminder that football moves fast, careers shift. The project rise and fall, and the club that hesitates get left behind. Manchester United are not fixed yet, but the first time in a long while, there is a direction, there is accountability, and there are young players stepping up when given the chance. The noise around Manchester will not stop, but right now the message is clear. When the right players are trusted, this club still knows how to win, and that, more than any rumor or headline, is what really shakes Manchester town now. And now Manchester United, they were already looking at signing a big name midfielder this summer before Casemiro confirmed his decision to leave the club. Now, the five-time Champions League winner will not stay at Old Trafford beyond the end of his contract in June. Now, United's search for a replacement was ongoing last year, after Ruben Amorim struggled to balance his side, although Michael Carrick has offset that by returning Bruno Fernandes to a more natural number 10 position and bringing Kobbie Mainoo back from the cold. Casemiro will still leave the hole. Now, the importance of strengthening United's spine, regardless of who the new permanent manager ends up being, is lost on nobody. United will likely also need to upgrade and restock at the back, but given Manuel Ugarte's struggle over 18 months in England, the middle of the pitch is the first place to focus on, and there are no shortage of options on the market. United were keen to add Brighton's Carlos Baleba last summer and have held an interest in Nottingham Forest star Elliot Anderson for a while as well. And Adam Walton is another to consider as he looks for a step up from Crystal Palace. The latest player to be linked is Sandro Tonali, as we told you in our previous episode. Newcastle's 55 million euro man was offered to Arsenal on the deadline day of the January transfer window. He is thought to be growing restless in the northeast, with Newcastle increasingly unlikely to get back into the Champions League next season. With that in mind, who is the best player available for United and how do they compare with each other, and Casemiro and Mainoo? Let's dive into it. Let's start with the Kobbie Mainoo. For the purposes of showing that these players can do at their best, we have analyzed data from across recent seasons. Mainoo, for example, has hardly featured properly this term or last, but his breakthrough in 2023-2024 was a better representation of what he is all about. His statistics card below is for the season, whilst Baleba's is for 2024-2025. Everyone else is for this year. Casemiro is arguably having his best season at United. It is either that or 2022-2023, whilst Tonali and Baleba have both dipped from the last season, but their previous performances have been noticed and referred to. On Mainoo specifically, he is less of a destroyer or box crusher, shown by having the second lowest tackles 1 per 90 above only Tonali and more of a link man. He is the fluid presser evader on the ball, whereas Casemiro relies more on shorter passing in the triangles. With his place in the side now solidified again, it would be a surprise if United moved on from their academy graduate. He could easily take the spot of Algolet in the squad, whilst a direct replacement for Casemiro is thought. Maino is not a Casemiro replacement, but would be a good foil for many of those United are looking at. Let's go to the second one, is Sandro Tonali. On to the new players, and Tonali is the most established. He is the oldest of the lot and had an impressive record at AC Milan before joining Newcastle in 2023. Compared to Casemiro, he has more ways to progress the ball via dribbles, but in nowhere near a match of threat in the field in the final third. He is more of a combination of Casemiro and Maino when it comes to passing, and tends to hunt in parks to win the ball back. Tonali is not strong when it comes to tackling and often works in midfield 3 under Eddie Howe, something United tend to stay away from with the preferred double pivot. Number 3 is Elliot Anderson. Thomas Tuchel, England favorite, is more adept at playing in a 2 and has done so in back 5 or the more standard 4-2-3-1. Anderson operates deeper than other, but still gets the ball forward well. He is industrious off the ball, making more tackles per 90 minutes than anyone else on the list, and by distance as well. In fact, only Baleba gets more interceptions, but part of Anderson's effectiveness must be coveted by saying he plays for the team with the least possession, allowing him that chance. The 23-year-old also commits fouls more regularly than anyone, but Casemiro is here. As a mobile figure in midfield, Anderson can set up a tackle attacks in transition after winning the ball himself, which would suit Manchester United. Should Forest go down, then United will be in the mix to get him at a cut price, and it's easy to see why. Now, Adam Wharton, from one England's man to another. Wharton is much less directly dangerous player, but is the most adventurous with his passing. The Crystal Palace man specializes at punching balls through the lines and into teammates, allowing them to exploit space. He is not bothered by scoring or assisting for that matter, but it is definitely a part of his game that can improve, and probably would weave better attackers in front of him. As another range midfielder, Wharton can eat up ground and is used to playing in a pivot. He has a similar profile to Anderson, but with a more progressive play through passing than dribbling. Anderson, as mentioned, is also more active when defending. Wharton is perhaps the most direct passer here, averaging of 8.4 progressive passes per 90 minutes and 0.69 through balls as well. He doesn't carry much in terms of the threat to the position goal, but that hasn't been his job. The risk reward with Wharton is his eye to spot a gap, making him prone to turnovers. Now, here is Carlos Baleba. 12 months ago, Baleba was arguably in front of all of these guys. He was the next 100 million euros midfielder with quality to shout about and all-around game worthy of making him the move to United. Things have gone downhill. Brighton have been extremely inconsistent he has been unable to hit the same heights as in 2024-2025, and then there was the African Cup of Nations. But look below the surface at last season, and is possibly the most attractive option. With huge progressive carrying, ball winning and passing accuracy, Baleba combines short play of Anderson from his year with Maino mouse-like ability to get away from a press. He is not a forward-thinking through the thirds as Wharton, but does have a mean switch of play in his and a range of passing to his game that stands out. If United could get Baleba to his best, then they would have a player able to do it all. Baleba really is a jack of all trades from the group. There is a Joao Gomez. And an additional name to the throw into the hat is one of the Wolves' many Gomez's. He is far too good to be in the championship, so will also almost certainly leave in the next window, but where to? The 24 years old is another dribbler midfielder and doesn't offer loads with forward passing. But like Anderson, the caveat of playing in a dreadful team must be applied. Compared to Wharton, he is miles off on playing forward, although he has hardly had anyone to fix at Mourinho, but is much safer. As Manchester United fans and who follow our YouTube channel every day, who would you suit, or who would be the best choice for Manchester United as a replacement for Casemiro? Let us hear from you in our comment section. See you again.